everyone, I am Trey Ennis with thefirstdatefix.com. Today I'm going to be talking about an ancillary part of dating, and by that I mean something that's kind of in between. It's not quite ghosting, it's not quite dumping, but it's what I like to call the slow fade. Now, what is the slow fade, you might be asking? The slow fade is essentially when someone doesn't have the courage, confidence, smart social EQ to do the right thing and have either a phone call or a face-to-face conversation with you and say, hey, you know what? I'm not feeling it anymore. Let's just be friends. But they start being a bit slow with their texts. Perhaps they start putting themselves in a situation where they don't answer your phone calls as much as usual. They start to get even more busier than they were before. This is the slow fade. Imagine this. You've dated the person for 3 to 4 months and it was bliss. You guys loved the same movies. You were going to these amazing concerts. You've met her friends. He's met your friends and it's going fantastic. You've even discussed the potential of going on vacation together and meeting each other's family. It seems like a fantastic relationship. When one day you text them and instead of their usual good morning text, you don't hear from them until the evening. The next day, you text them in the morning, you don't hear from them until the day after that. And then the day after that, when you try and call them, they don't respond to your phone call. They're not sending you the regular memes that they do on Instagram. And communication's just been a bit weird. This, my friends, is what they call the slow fade. So, let's get into it. I would put this down to A, B, C, and D. How to tell if they're actually doing the slow fade to you in the first place. B, confirmation that they're actually doing it. C, communicate your honest feelings. And D, figuring out an exit strategy, or if the communication has gone well, rejoice! It's gonna be okay. This person is actually going to remain in your life and you are possibly overthinking it, okay? But let's crack on. Let's talk a bit more exactly about what I mean by the slow fade. A, how do you know if they're doing the slow fade? Like I said at my intro at the beginning of this video, the texts start getting a little bit more sparse. Now, I know what you're thinking, Trey, what if they're busy? Yes, everyone gets busy. However, everyone has different text patterns. Now, if you look back at my previous video, you know the kind of texters that you're dealing with, right? If you're dating someone where when you text them, they don't respond 5, maybe 6 hours later and they're consistent with it, that's their text pattern. If you text someone and in the middle of you trying to send your second text to illustrate your point and they respond before you've even sent your second text, that is how the person communicates. If you text someone and they rarely text, but they always call you at least once a day, that's how they communicate. If you text someone and they average between 1 hour to 2 hours, that's how they communicate. Essentially, most people have a texting cadence, and I'll tell you why. Because it fits with their work schedule, it fits with their workout schedule, it fits with their kids. Everyone has, for the most part, a set schedule that they're dealing with, and that's how people's text cadences goes. So one, that's how you can know if the slow fade is happening, if their communication cadence generally changes, or if the sweet, genuine, empathetic, kind things they did in the first place to win you over have either slowly started to dissipate or they're non-existent whatsoever. Or where they were wanting to spend more time with you, let's say in the honeymoon stages, they wanted to see you 3 times a week, right? And now they're only seeing you once a week. Now they're only seeing you every other week. Another one is when they consistently cancel. Now, I don't mean every single time you try and meet with them, they cancel, but let's say you have plans on Saturday, they cancel it, right? They meet with you on the Wednesday and then you have plans on a Sunday and then they cancel, right? When consistent cancellations start happening in between 2 weeks, that's when you know something's up. The time you spend with them is becoming far less frequent, i.e., you used to spend 2 to 3 hours together, now they're only spending an hour, sometimes 45 minutes. These are key signs that you can tell when unfortunately someone is trying to get out, but they don't have the gall or stones to really tell you exactly what's happening. B, confirmation that they're actually doing that. Now, how do you confirm that they're actually slow fading? What's happening in their life? Are they a nurse? If they're a nurse, currently we're in COVID-19 quarantine, pandemonium, madness. And if they're a nurse and are not contacting you as much as possible, that's pretty much self-explanatory. If they have been telling you about issues they're having with their family, perhaps their grandmother is on their last legs, that's the reason why they're not communicating. My main point being is that the confirmation that they're doing it, you need to check all the facts and situations that you can pull into your own head to figure out exactly if they are slow fading or if they're just going through a different period in their life that you perhaps haven't been a part of yet. So what do you do if you have a few of these previous situations that I mentioned affecting your dating life and you see in the person that you're dating? The first thing you should do is just be honest and communicate. Now, be careful. When you communicate this, never do it over text. Never. You know how I feel about texting, pretty sensitive information. Texting is for, hope you have a great day, good luck with your exam, good luck with your job interview, this is what I've been up to today, I'm heading over in half an hour. That is what texting is for. Not, hey, I had a thought about the relationship, I haven't really heard from you recently, I've had deep concerns about exactly where this relationship is going, can you please text me back and let me know exactly what's happening, I'm kind of freaking out. That is not how you communicate important pieces of information in regards to relationship. There's two ways you can communicate this. One, over the phone, or two, my personal favorite, face to face. Intonation can be read far more better when you are face to face with the person in question. And this is what you do. Very, very simple. Don't copy this word for word, paraphrase, but very, very simple. You say, hey, could I talk to you about something quickly? And for the most part, they're going to say, yeah, sure. You say, hey, you know, I've noticed things have been a bit different between us. Is everything okay? They're probably going to respond and say, oh, what things have been different? You explain some things that have been different in a very non-accusatory way, right? And you make sure that you are giving respect to their time, their freedom, and the fact that their life is not your life when you do so, right? Now, if they respond defensive and say, I don't think anything's changed, there's your first sign. D, you figure out your exit strategy because you know they're doing a slow fade, or you rejoice because it turns out that you were wrong and you were just paranoid and they've just been extremely busy and they told you that they're gonna do what they can to improve. That, my friends, is a keeper. If they turn around and they say, I don't really think anything's changed, I think you're being paranoid, oh my goodness, and they kind of get rude, a bit snarky about it and extremely defensive, give them a day to kind of get their shit together and apologize for the way they reacted, okay? If they don't apologize for the way they reacted, they're trying to do a slow fade. If they're a good human and you've called them out positively, then they're probably gonna say, to be quite honest, you're right, like we should end this. Perfect! You can end a relationship with someone face to face and you're not going to be blindsided. In most cases, when people are dumped, they're upset because they're blindsided and they didn't see it coming. Most people who get dumped and they saw it coming, they're like, oh, yeah, I fucked up. Fair enough. You know what? Yeah, we had a good run. Can I get the door for you, right? But most people who are blindsided are unfortunately very upset, and rightly so. If you open up and you discuss with this person how you feel, it's a win-win situation. Either they say you're wrong, I'll improve, or they say you're right, you are dumped, right? And you guys can have, you know, a mutually beneficial breakup and no time will be wasted. Once you realize that they are exactly doing the slow fade, you want to figure out how you are going to be communicating with that person, that perhaps you should cut ties with minimal emotional injuries and making sure that you leave on good terms. You know, life is too short. When you break up with someone, whether good or bad, you really want it to be on the best terms possible. Take it from a man who has ended many relationships on the worst terms possible, okay? Learn from my mistakes so you don't have to make them. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you are feeling like you're in a position or you're in a place where the person is doing the slow fade, don't ghost them. Don't be prideful and say, well, if they're just gonna ghost me, I'm gonna ghost them. Do not do that. Have the courage, have the responsibility, and be the great person that you are and have a conversation with the person. 8 times out of 10, you know, they're probably just really busy and they didn't wanna bother you with it. But in other cases, they might honestly be trying to break up with you and they just don't know how to do it. You can facilitate a conversation, good or bad, because you're empowered, you are strong, and you deserve the best person you can possibly be with. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. As always, I have the obligatory firstdatefix.com at the YouTube page, lovely Instagram page. Always appreciate the likes that you guys give me in the comments. And last but not least, a Twitter, which I never use, to be quite honest. I've never really gotten into Twitter. Maybe you guys can enlighten me as to why it's so good. All right, enjoy the rest of your day.